Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Book of Brianna, a podcast. I am your host, Dr. Brianna Whiteside, and I'm so excited to chat with you today. Before I get started, can you do me a favor and like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not, and share this with someone who you may feel can benefit from today's topic. Y'all, today I want to talk about making friendships in your adulthood, making friendships in your 20s, 30s, 40s, however old you are. I want to talk about making friendships because I think more times than not, we kind of believe that it's more difficult than what it is. I know that's true for me. And therefore, our perception of making friendships in your adulthood will ultimately cause you not to have any friendship. And so because I'm in a new season, my perspective is shifting on a lot of things. Therefore, I realize that I need more connections. I need more friendships. I need more girlfriends. And so this podcast episode is for the friendless, folks who want friends, folks who need encouragement to make friends, and people who also realize that they need different types of friendships, right? This is who this podcast episode is for. Let me tell y'all, I think that we have bought into a lie, a societal lie, that making friendships in adulthood is difficult. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably easier to make friendships in your adulthood than any other time, to be honest, because what I've learned, let me not generalize, but what I've learned is more times than not, other adults want to make friends too. Other adults want to have destiny connections too, but they may not know how to go about doing it. They may get in their own way, and therefore they're in the house lonely and saying I'm a loner, but still having the desire to connect with people, still having the desire to go out and things of that nature. Y'all listen, in order to make friends, you first have to show yourself friendly. I think that's probably a scripture in the Bible. You have to show yourself friendly, not only just friendly, but available. I know that we have these songs out here talking about no new friends, but you need new friends. You might need some new friends because your new friends may have the key to unlock your next step. They may have the key to the next connection you need. You know what I mean? Like, you do need new people. Now, I'm not saying that they have to be your bestie. I'm not saying that you gotta be up at night doing each other hair and having a sleepover, but you do need connections. You do need relationships. We're called to do life with other people, and that's just not in intimate relationships. And maybe I shouldn't even say intimate, I should say romantic relationships. And so I know that sometimes people are like, yeah, I want friends, I wish I had more friends, and then they don't do anything about it. I am guilty of that too in the past. I would say, man, I wish I can go hang out with such and such, or I wish I had more people to go do this with. And I'm like, but I wasn't doing anything about it. It was just a wish, and therefore it stayed as a wish. And therefore I spent more time alone than I think was necessary. I am really an introvert. I enjoy my alone time. But what I do in a career is ultimately making me, I won't say an extrovert, maybe an ambivert, right? Someone who can do both. But peopling does make me tired. And by peopling, I mean engaging with people over long periods of time. My social battery just runs out. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about me being antisocial. I have had a history in the past of being antisocial. And at one point I was anti-girls. Not because I used to be like, I don't like girls. No, that was just function. So I used to be antisocial, anti-girls. And that kind of put me in isolation before I needed to actually be in isolation. It cut me off from meaningful relationships because I was just being antisocial, right? And so in the season that I'm in right now, I'm kind of like, yo, you need to come up out of this antisocial attitude, and you need to put forth effort. You really need to try. And so lately, what I've been doing is I've been on a dating app for friends. And here's what I mean. So I don't know. I know dating apps get bad raps. And I'm not somebody to be like, oh, I'm against dating apps, because I'm not. Because I know that I am not out with people a lot, right? I have so many things going on. So if I'm not out with people a lot and I say I want a husband, how am I gonna meet him? Yeah, I might meet him at the grocery store on the days that I go, or the rare occasions that I go, or whatever I'm doing, but I can be on a dating app more so than I can meeting somebody out. You know what I mean? And so I can't be like, I want a husband, and refuse to use the tools that are available to me to potentially meet a husband. Yes, there are weirdos on dating apps, but there's also weirdos at the store. There's also weirdos at the gas station. There's also weirdos at your job. You know what I mean? But you still go to those places. And so my point of bringing that up is saying, yeah, if you're not going out, if you're not going to socialize, if you're not going out to meet people, what you think your husband's just gonna come knock on your door? No, he's not. You can't just say I'm believing God for a mate or partner or whatever and not even do your part. You're not even doing your part. It's so funny. I was having a conversation with my mother, and I promise I'm gonna get back to the friendship. I was having a conversation with my mother the other day, and I was like, you know, I was talking about dating and things like that. And I was like, Mom, you need to go ahead and download your dating app too. Get you on your dating app. And she's like, I don't trust the dating app, blah, blah, blah. Gave me her objection. I can't, you know, say nothing about it. But I was like, okay, you're hoping for a husband. She's like, yeah. You want to be married? Yeah. So you go home, you go to work, you pick up my sister. That's it. When you gonna meet him? When are you gonna meet this man that you're praying for? If you're not on, you're not engaging with the apps, right? And I'm not saying the apps are the only way, but sometimes for busy people, for people who are not outward socially outside, that is the most efficient way. That is the way that you're going to start getting back out there, right? And so because I know this, I was like, all right, let me download a dating app for friends. So if y'all don't know, and this video is not sponsored, but they should be sponsoring me. If y'all don't know, Bumble, which is the yellow app, Bumble dating app also has like a networking side to it as well as a friendship side, and it's called Bumble BFF. And because I am trying to be intentional about things that I was not intentional about in the past, I downloaded the BFF side of Bumble to meet more girlfriends, to meet more girls. And it is forcing me out of my comfort zone, right? Because I am not used to letting people know I want to connect with them, I want to build friendships. But as I started to look more at the girls' profiles, everyone is kind of saying the same thing. Hey, looking to connect with like-minded people. Hey, I'm looking for my girl tribe. Hey, I'm looking for someone to brunch with, lunch with, dinner with, go to the movies with, mani and pedi. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the women on this app, they're looking for the same things that I am looking for, right? And we have to be willing to put ourselves out there to try to connect with people. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, it's always going to be successful friendships, right? You may not be, just like with dating, they may not all be successful, but you do have a higher rate of finding quality friends, right? By using the tools we have today to find friends. And I've met two people so far. I've only been doing it for like a few weeks, so I've met two people. I'll probably meet up with a third girl next week. But you know, these are fascinating women. We have a lot of things in common. I'm learning so much about them, myself, right? As we develop in friendship, like we're building foundations and things of that nature and getting to know one another. And you know, it is a humbling thing. It is humbling, and at moments it feels like a little bit weird, right? But I said I wanted friendships. I said I wanted like-minded girlfriends. I said that I did want more friends. And so that means that I have to do the things that will allow me to have more friends. So that means putting myself out there, letting people know, hey, I want to connect, showing myself friendly, showing myself available. And sometimes, y'all, yes, it's going to be an inconvenience, right? Like, it's just like dating. Dating is not always convenient. Being in relationships with people, it's not always convenient, but you want the relationship, right? You want the end goal. And that is what I'm doing here with building friendships. I want quality women around me. Therefore, I'm going to have to make time for them. We're going to have to talk. You know what I'm saying? We may not talk every day, but we are going to have to start talking. We're going to have to make plans. Like, you have to actually put forth the effort. If you say you want friendships, if you say you want godly connections, whatever it is you're looking for, are you doing the things that will allow you to create these relationships? Sometimes we'll be like, God, I want more friends. Can you bring more friends around me? And he may bring them around you. And you're like, nope, I don't want to talk. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to go to lunch. I'm tired. Like today, I had a friend date. with one of the ladies from the app. And y'all, I've been tired. Like, I've been celebrating with people for the last 3 days, and I've been getting home late as a result of that. But I was like, hey girl, yes, let's do lunch after church. So we went to church. We met up at church, actually, which was our first time meeting. Then we went to lunch afterwards, and then we parted ways. But I was tired, absolutely. But I said I wanted friends. I said I wanted to make godly connections. I wanted girls in my age range to build relationships with. I said this. And I was like, all right, what's at your disposal? What avenues can you go down? Don't really know a lot of people at the church I'm visiting. Okay, cool. That may develop later on because I haven't connected to the church by joining. I'm just visiting. My career, I don't meet a lot of folks on the internet. Probably not. But I can use the Bumble BFF, right? And I know that these women are also looking for quality friendships as well. And so it's not hard, y'all, to make friendships in your adulthood. What is hard is you getting out of your own way and getting out of your comfort zone to get what you say you want. To actually go out and put yourself out there and stop trying to self-preserve because you don't want to feel rejected. That is what's hard. Not connecting with like-minded people. And as I said, they may not be your BFF, but they somebody you can call up and have dinner with, somebody you may call up to pray for you, or whatever the case may be. But we have to be willing to show ourselves friendly. We have to be willing to put ourselves out there and be willing to be uncomfortable and be willing to invite new people into your life. Now, I ain't saying don't pray. You need to pray about the connections you're making because some people may have ill intent against you. But after you do that, you have to be willing to be friends with them. You have to be willing to connect with them. I have this friend, my granny friend. I call her my granny friend because we both like to go to bed early and be in the house early. And when I first moved to Vegas, my homegirl was visiting me, right? And it just so happened that her homegirl was visiting her. So we ended up in the same restaurant at the same time. Didn't think much of it. You know, I saw them, but I didn't say anything. I was with my homegirl. And so then afterwards, we both end up in the same jewelry store. Now, my granny friend, she's an extrovert. She thrives on meeting people. Strangers, connecting. Like, she's very evangelistic in her approach to life. And she walks up to me in a jewelry store, just started talking. Now, me being from Chicago, I'm kind of like, who is this stranger? Are you trying to sell me something? Why you walking up to me, sis? Are we finna have to tussle? And she was like, girl, I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I just want to connect. Like, I'm new to the city. I'm just looking to meet new friends, blah, 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 blah. And it was weird, y'all, for her to do that. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's just exchange numbers. And that was the beginning of 2019. We've been friends ever since. But she approached me because she was extroverted. I have to be willing to receive her friendship invitation. And we, of course, we went on our first friendship date, and the friendship developed slowly but surely over the years. But I had to put myself in a position where I was willing to receive the friendship that she was offering. Not saying our friendship is perfect, not saying we talk every day, because we don't. But we are cool. This is my granny friend. We've continued to be friends to one another. And the same is true, y'all, for anything. You have to be willing to be a friend. You have to be willing to do that. And if you don't have the capacity to do that, then I think you need to get the capacity, right? Because God didn't call you to be an island. God didn't call you to do life alone. Maybe some of the reasons that you might be struggling, if you're struggling right now, is because you don't have quality and solid relationships. And instead of crying, spitting, and farting about it, perhaps you should try to show yourself friendly and get out there. Yes, it is uncomfortable. So if you're not used to talking to complete strangers or walking up to strangers and saying, oh, I think we should connect. Oh, I think we should be cool. Oh, okay, try Bumble BFF. It's working for me. I tried Bumble BFF a few years ago, and it didn't necessarily work out. The people I was trying to connect with, it didn't necessarily work out for whatever reasons that they didn't. But I knew that the season that I'm in now would require that I have more connections and I kind of expand. If not just my inner circle, but my secondary circle or my layer 3 circle, it's going to require that. And I was fine with that, right? It is uncomfortable. Yes, it is uncomfortable meeting new people. It is uncomfortable because you never know what they think about you. You're trying to assess what you think about them and things like that. But is it worth the risk? Yes. It's worth the risk because you thrive more when you have quality people around you. You thrive more when you're able to make meaningful connections. You thrive more when you are connected, period. Like, yeah, when you're connected. I'll just say that. And so for anyone who is struggling to make friends in their adulthood, but you know that you are supposed to have more friends, I want to challenge you to get out of your own way and put yourself out there, because it could be pride that's stopping you from making the friendship that you say you want. A spirit of pride that could be keeping you from the future that you need, because you don't know, one of these new friends may have the thing that you need to launch you into the next step. You don't know. So I encourage you to get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. Stop thinking that you're more than what you are, and go out there and show yourself friendly. Go out there and make friends, because you need them. You need them. You need them. You need them. I have to keep saying that because I think sometimes people don't think you need them, and you do. I remember, it's a while ago, a former friend of mine, right? She didn't have many friends, and I was her really close friend. And it came a point in life where I could not be to her who she needed, right? And instead of her understanding, like, Bree doesn't have the capacity in this area, the friendship started to get really tense between us, because she wanted me to show up in a particular way, and I had no experience showing up in that way, and I was not necessarily comfortable showing up in that way for her. And we started beefing. But had she had another friend, had she had more friends to talk to help her walk through it, we probably would be okay today. But because she didn't, and because she started putting all of her emotional weight on me and I couldn't carry it, the friendship broke apart. Like, everyone is not gonna be able, one person is not gonna be able to be your everything. Which is why Jesus had how many disciples? I'm gonna let you answer that. Because he knew one person cannot carry everything that I'm carrying. One person will not be able to do all that needs to be done. So I'm gonna have the 12. I'm not saying that you need 12 friends. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need more than one. You need more than one, because what happens when that friend goes through a life challenge, a life transition, and is unable to show up for you in the way that you are used to them showing up? Then you're gonna start, what would you do? Retaliating, getting your feeling some type of way, feeling betrayed, all these things. Well, if you had another friend, right? If you had someone else who you were able to reach out to, connect to, things like that, then you can give that first friend a break and lean on that other friend. Spread the weight around. Spread the responsibility around. I think that would have been good. I think that would be good. I think that is fair. Because have y'all ever felt that people treated you unfairly? Especially in a season where they may have been going through something, but you also were going through something as well, but they wanted you to show up for them. And you like, I need somebody to show up for me. How did that make you feel? Now imagine if that person had another friend or another group of friends who they were able to pull on and lean on in a time of need. It would have been different. The feeling could have been different. You know what I mean? And you also have to be okay with you not being the end all be all in that person's life. You have to be okay with them doing things with their other set of friends. You do. You got to be okay with that, because it doesn't take away from who you are in the friendship or who they are to you in the friendship. It just means that they also have other friends, and you got to be cool with just not being the center of friendships. And I had to learn that a long time ago. My friends are gonna have other friends, just like I am gonna have other friends. So that's what I think. I think that in our 30s, I think that we need to go ahead and really show ourselves friendly. I think we need to go ahead and get out of our own way. I think we need to go ahead and try to build quality relationships and not just ask God to just send them, because he may send them, he may open a door, and then what? He may open a door and you don't walk through the door because you're not willing to do your part. Don't let it happen to you. Don't let it happen to you. Take some ownership, take some responsibility, use the tools he gave you. If you feel like you want to be friends at work, hey, send an invitation for a lunch or hors d'oeuvres or whatever. Hey, I'd like to connect with you, I want to get to know you, blah blah blah. You want to be friends with somebody at church, join connect groups, get to know people. Don't stay siloed. You don't have time for that? Okay, cool. Go ahead and get on Bumble BFF or whatever other friendship app. I don't know. But enough with it's so hard to build friendships in 2023 or in your adulthood if you're not actually actively trying to do it. And also remember that you're gonna have what you say. So every time you say it's gonna be hard for you, it's gonna be hard for you. But the moment you say, no, it's gonna be easy, I'm gonna be quality friends, you start speaking it to existence, you start declaring and declaring that stuff, and then you become a friend. Because some people don't become friends, some people just be leechers. When you become a friend, things gonna change for you. So building friendships in your adulthood is not hard. It just requires you to get out of your own way, to humble yourself, and also to admit that you definitely need other connections. That's it. That's all I got. This is just minor encouragement for you this evening. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and be a friend. If you want friends, you have to go ahead and be a friend first. So I hope this encouraged you, gave you something to think about, gave you another avenue for which to maybe build a friendship if you have never tried the apps for friendships. I'm having good success so far, but of course I only met 2 people. But yeah, so far so good. Let me know, how are you actively building friendships in your adulthood? What are some tips that you can give people for building friendships? And drop them in the comments below. I want to know, because this is a thing that kind of concerns me, and it's very prevalent in culture and we laugh it off. But people are more lonely than they've ever been, and it's because they have forsaken true friendships and replaced them with just social media, right? Which is its own virtual reality. But anyway, that's all I got. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to, and I'll see you soon in another installment of the Book of Brianna, a podcast. Talk to you soon. Bye.